All right, guys. Well, deer season is officially over in Pennsylvania. Last Saturday it ended for our management unit where we usually hunt. But this past week there were 3 management units that still were able to hunt deer. One of them being 5C, where I tried to get down into the early season. I had a doe tag for there, but just didn't have time to get out. Busy with work and whatnot. So season's done. I'm heading down my farm. It's Sunday. Got done with church, breakfast, a little running around. So I'm heading down, gonna pull tree stands and check around, see what kind of sign there is. I'm gonna take a look at the killer food plot and just kind of see what kind of work we might need to be doing to get ready for this spring for planting. Frost seeding will be coming up end of March, April, somewhere in there. We're going to be paying close attention to that. We'll be talking with Nick Percy from Killer Food Plots here in a couple of weeks to kind of just get a game plan for our plots that we're going to be doing. So, lots of work to do. Even though deer season is over, it's not. Lots to do in preparation for this fall, for this coming deer season. So I'm heading down. I'm going to drive. I'll see you guys down at the farm. All right, guys. Well, we made it up here to the top of the field. It's a little wet, but wasn't too bad. Just stuck it in 4 low and took a slow ride up here and made it. So we got some work to do. I got a muddy tree stand set to pull right here over to Killer Food Plot, and I have one hang on down at another tree stand I'm going to pull. I'm going to put a camera out and check everything. We'll show you what we're planning on doing here with the food plot this year and see what maybe work might need to be done before we frost seed. So let's head out. We'll take a good look. All right, guys. So we made it up here to the food plot. Got a little bit of work to do. One tree stand set, like I said, here, and one hang on down below, and just check everything. So I'm gonna get some things together and I'll see you when I'm ready to start pulling tree stands. All right, guys, well, welcome to the Killer Food Plot. It's pretty cool to come up here and see that we've still got green across pretty much the entire part of the plot except this upper corner up here, which we got a lot of trees in there and we're really not going to cut those down. So I'm going to pretty much expect that upper corner is going to be a tough one to get growth. But the rest of the plot, as you can see, almost up to that one tree right up there where there's a dead stump by it, up to there we've got clover. And that's key because that allows these deer, there's some tracks in here, but that clover all the way up through here is also building a great base for our soil. So what I'm going to do is, before I frost seed, we're having a mild winter here in PA so far. This plot, I'm not going to make it any bigger than it is. We're just going to keep working on enhancing it and adding to the soil, making it better, trying to get some stuff. There's some stumps in here from trees that we cut last year that I'm going to try and get out of here this year at some point. I may trim some overhanging limbs like out of that tree right there that hang over the plot. That's up in the back part of the plot up here, kind of up in that area, and kind of try to get some sunlight coming down into that upper part just a little bit more than what we've had. This is a cherry tree. We really don't want to cut that, but we really didn't have a problem with stuff growing all around here. So I don't think we've got a lot to cut to open it up. If I can get up there with a extension and hand cut some of those limbs hanging this way, I may do that out of this big tree right here just to get a little bit more sunlight. But all in all, it's not looking bad. We've got some rocks in here that if I can get somebody in here with a tractor to help me get them out, because I just simply can't get them out by hand, I'll do that. But we're going to look to frost seed this again end of March, beginning of April. The idea with frost seeding is you want to plant it right around that time of the year, depending upon where you're at. That's going to the ground's going to start to warm then freeze, warm, then freeze. So you're kind of timing it with that last frosty period. And as that soil warms, your seed, and what you're going to put down, we're probably going to put resurrection clover down in here again, and maybe the crop duster again. That seemed to do really well with the overseed that we did last year here. Those small seeds, as the soil warms a little, those seeds will fall down through. And typically you want to have some snow on here when you do a frost seed if you can help it. You know, last year we didn't, and it still came up really well. But as the snow melts, the seeds will fall down through that into the soil. Then when that soil freezes again, because moisture in the soil expands, it actually lifts that soil up. And then when that soil thaws, it pulls those seeds down in. You get basically almost like you're turning the soil with a cultivation. You get that little 1 inch to 2 inch depth that you need for clover. It pulls that in, it germinates really good, and then as the weather starts continuing to warm up, you've got new growth, and it did really well for us, and it helps your soil. So that's the plan here, is just to continue with the frost seed again this year, and we'll take you through those steps as we're doing it. What I did last year was I blew all the leaves out of this, and I may try to do that again, just to kind of open up the soil a little bit more than what it is. That seemed to work well. And then our plan with this plot is frost seed it, again, mid to end of March, beginning of April, and let it go all through turkey season. And then once we get done with turkey season, the beginning of June, I'm going to try to come in here and turn this soil and work everything into it, and we're going to plant carnage brassicas, and hopefully they'll do really well through the summer. Get those big leafy greens with the heavy proteins and putting those beets into the ground. And then we'll overseed this with some clover as we get closer to the fall. So as those beets and those greens start to deplete down in, we'll have some new growth from the clover coming up. That's the plan. We'll see how it works. But I'm going to get my stuff and I'm going to get my tethered tree saddle for the lineman's belt to get that stand down. So I'll see you when I'm over there starting to pull this tree stand set. All right, guys. Well, I got my tethered tree saddle on, so I'm going to start breaking this stand down and get it out of here. And I like to do this. I know a lot of guys will leave stands out all year long, and I do that too. I have a couple ladder stands that I leave out all year long, but I will check them prior to the season. Make sure they're safe, make sure the straps are safe. If I got to replace a strap or some screws, I'll do that. But when it comes to climbing sticks and hang-ons and stuff like that, I like to pull them out when the season's over, take them home, inspect them all, inspect, you know, the straps, you know, for any kind of wear, fraying, you know, squirrels, something may have been chewing at it, you know, maybe from climbing and wear and tear of the weather. You know, you want to check all of that stuff, make sure it's safe. You know, you might gain a little bit of rust, so I like to oil everything, like kind of spray it down with just a regular WD-40, and that'll condition it. And then also check, a lot of your tree stand companies sell spare parts, you know, because stuff wears out. It doesn't last forever, so you can inspect and, you know, check out, like with Muddy, they've got a lot of those plastic washers that silence the stands. They break, okay, so it's easy to buy them. They're inexpensive. And for the couple dollars that you're going to spend to maybe replace a cable, some screws, some plastic washers, they're worth a million when it comes to being safe in the stand and not getting hurt and not falling and being able to go home at the end of the day. So, one of the things I love about tethered is they have this ropeman ascender. Works great not only for your tether when you're in there, but for your lineman's belt. Throughout the season, I'll leave on my own property, which this is, these bow hangers, and I'll just leave them in trees. So I'll pull all of those today, take them home, oil them up, check the screws, and they'll be good for next year. So all right, that takes care of that. Let's go get that tow rope now. All right, now the best part about this tow rope is I'm going to be able to lower 2 sticks down with this. All right, so once you have that end down, you bring the opposite end up for you, and now you're ready to move down to the next set of sticks, just like so. And then from there, I should be able to just drop sticks down. There we go. And there you have it. All right, and that sets off. So I'm gonna get everything cleaned up from here, put it in the truck, take a walk down to that other ladder stand that I have a muddy hang on for a cameraman on. I'm gonna take that one off, and then that'll pretty much be it for today. Guys, well, I got the stands back in the truck, so I'm gonna grab my GoPro out of this front of the truck there, and I'll use that. It'll be easier than carrying the main camera since I'm buying myself today, and I'll take you with me. We're gonna head down to that other muddy ladder stand that I have a hang on for a cameraman. I want to pull that off, and then I'm gonna have to come another day when I have help to get that one ladder stand out of there that hang on is at. I want to bring that in. It makes a lot of noise. It's been out a few years. I think we need to replace some bolts and some washers, but I need my brother David. He couldn't be here today, so another day he and I will come up. We'll grab that and one more really old set that is not safe, but we want both of us here to pull that, and then we'll go through and inspect that one as well. So I got the GoPro. I'll take you along with me down. We got a little bit of a walk. Well, I think there's a bow hanger in this one ladder stand just before there. I'll pull that as well, and we'll go get the other one, and then that'll be it for the day. So we got a pretty good game plan going here right now. Got the main set in this food plot out. Picked a bunch of big sticks that fell onto this plot. I'll come up here another day and clean it a little bit better, but one thing we don't find a lot back here are sheds. We've never really been lucky, and I'm doing everything we can to keep deer more on the property that maybe we could find some sheds. But I did put another camera out to kind of keep an eye, see what may be coming around. So yeah, I do have a bow hanger in this ladder stand here. So I'm gonna head up on there, grab that, and then I'll see you when I get down. So I grabbed that. I just left it at the bottom of the stand. I'll get it on the way back through. tell you what, this field out here made a huge difference for us this year when it came to the deer season. I'm kind of hoping they don't do anything with it this year coming up and they let it go like that. It created a big bedding area that these deer were able to feed into the soybean, into our killer food plot, work through this little patch of woods that we have. This is my neighbor's property, this weed field, but this patch of woods that I'm in is ours. And these deer sneak through this woods, and I was set up just on the edge of it down here and killed the big 7 coming out of this. He actually came from the food plot down to a doe that was feeding underneath this acorn tree and ran her off, and I got lucky. But we've killed a bunch of deer in here, some fresh rubs over there, so we're just about over. It's wet in here, about an inch of rain yesterday. This is the stand I missed the big 7 out of the first time. So
shot right over him.
This stand has been a tough one to hunt out. Oh, there's a really fresh rub over there, I see. It's just really thick. You can see all down in through here. It's really thick in here. So to hunt on the ground, it's tough. You got to be elevated, but then you still don't have a lot of shooting. And this is the stand right here now. We're gonna pull that lock on today and get that out of here. But this stand we're also gonna pull. We're gonna do a little inventory on it and check everything. It just makes a lot of noise, and I don't know why. Muddy stands usually aren't like that, so we're gonna pull it and check it, because the creaking noise has cost me some shots this year and in the past, and I don't like it. So all right, I'm gonna go up there, I'm gonna get that, and then we'll take a walk back. Got the stand, and check this out over here. I'll just show you this one rub. Look at that right there. I mean, that's just tore up pretty darn good. And there's a bunch more rubs in through here that I'm seeing. Just wish I'd find a shed or two laying around next to them, but I'm sure we will eventually start finding sheds here. We're still working at managing it as best we can, because we've got basically 3 properties all around us that, you know, we're competing with for our deer. Obviously we don't have a big wooded area, and this is the big wooded area, our neighbors, and it's really thick, and that holds a lot of deer in there. But we are able to hunt right off of it, and we've got a very good relationship with them. We don't impose much, but there are times where if it's getting to that time of year and they're not hunting as much, and we ask them, usually they give us permission, unless they've got, you know, something going where they're coming down with their family, and obviously we don't want to go in there, that's their property. But we all work together, and they've killed some big buck, we've killed some big buck, so it's a lot of fun. Okay guys, well, I got my other stand out. Saw a lot of really nice rubs down there while I was walking down through. Some fresh rubs and some old rubs, no sheds. It's a little early, I think, here for us for sheds, but I do know some guys have been finding them, so that's pretty much going to be a wrap for today. It's a beautiful Sunday afternoon. You know, weather warmed up just a tad. It's probably about 38 degrees, 39 degrees. Perfect to be out here doing a little bit of work out in the woods, getting a game plan together for frost seeding and spring planting, and just pulling tree stands so you can inventory them, make sure they're safe and ready to go this fall again. So thanks for following me along. I'm going to be sharing with you in another video in a couple of future ones ahead on how I go through and inspect my stands and my climbing sticks, you know, mark down what I'm going to need, and then put an order together to order from. Most of my stands are muddy tree stands, so you know, it's nice. I only have to go to one place and place an order for any kind of accessories I may need to replace on those stands, so they're safe and ready to go this fall when it comes time. Just a couple of other tidbits, you know, when I go through my gear. One of the things that I like to do is I got a lot of tow ropes and a lot of lifelines, and I like to, you know, keep them nice and clean, roll them up just like this. I've got a gray bin in the back of my truck here that houses all of my tow ropes and lifelines, as well as my bow hangers, sprays, anything that I'm going to need, seat cushions, things like that. I'll keep it in here and it'll be good to go, and it'll just stay in that gray bin until I need it for the season. But that's pretty much what I do at the end of the season. It's a sad day today, but an exciting day. We pulled some tree stands. It marks the end of this past deer season, but we've started making plans for planting, which means we're already getting ready for opening day this coming fall. Thanks for following me along. Remember, if you like what you see here, click the subscribe button, give us a like, and leave a comment down below. Check out some of the content that we have in the description, some of the products that we use. If you have questions on some of the products that we use and why I choose to use those products, leave me a comment. I'd be happy to discuss them with you. In the weeks ahead, we're going to be doing some live streams on our Facebook page, and we'll be taping those as we're live streaming them. So if you missed them on our Facebook page, we'll be sharing the taped version of that live stream right here on the YouTube channel. We'll be going over some past hunts, some things that maybe we should have done differently, some things that went well, take a look at some of the equipment that we use and why, and talk a little food plot preparation and why we're doing what we do with our food plots. So until next time, guys, I'll see you later.